Naomi sat in her darkened house this night, and she pulled back the curtain to let some of the moonlight in. And she thought, why did my parents name me Naomi? Did they give me that name because they had an inkling that what the Naomi went through many years ago was what I would go through? Did they give me that name because somehow they knew prophetically that my husband would die? And she looked down on the floor, the packed mud floor of her house. And she saw her two little boys snuggled up in their cloaks, sleeping peacefully late at night. And she says, no, what I have to face is worse than the Naomi of old had to face. The Naomi of old lost her sons in death, but I'm going to lose my sons to slavery. She looked down there, between the little grass mats her boys were sleeping on, there were some sticks, some pieces of grass that they gathered from outside, and she saw that there was clearly a river running down. And they had all the little stick figures come walking across the river on dry ground, conquering the city of Jericho. And she thought, my boys are looking for a miracle, but it seems like if a miracle was going to happen, it would have happened long ere this. She wished she could cry, but it seemed like that the tears were just gone. Her dear husband had brought the family down to the school of the prophets. He was taking care of the finances, learning to become a prophet, a preacher for the Lord. And then the day came that he got a cough and a fever. And before you know it, he'd given up his last breath, and he was laid on the table in their house. And no sooner had they buried him when the creditors came and showed documentation that there was a lot of money that her husband had borrowed, and so they took the bed, they took the chairs, they took the kitchen utensils, they took the table. And now, all she was left with was an empty house, with her children sleeping on the floor, no furniture, and with the threat, unless she came up with the money, the creditors would come and take her sons and put them into slavery to cover the debts of her husband. And she said, Lord, I don't know if you're there. It doesn't seem like you are. But if you are there, please hear my prayer. Please meet my needs. I cannot bear to give up my own children. I've already given up my loved one, my husband. She finally lay down, fell into a fitful sleep. Early the next morning, she went out to get a drink at the little village well. She heard some of the other ladies excitedly talking about how the prophet is here. The prophet is here today. Oh, we are so excited. And when they see Naomi, they kind of put their heads down because they realize that there's no one for her to run back home and say the prophet is here. You've got to get to the school today. And suddenly Naomi knows what she needs to do. She runs back to her house, wakes up her little boys. Come. Let's go. I'm hungry, Mama. That's okay. We have to go. We have to take care of this right now. And she grabs them and takes them to the well, gets the hair wet, combs it the best she can, cleans off little hands and faces. She makes sure she looks as good as she knows, and she takes the two boys by their hands and walks to the school of prophet. And there is a mighty prophet Elisha visiting with people, blessing people, and she walks right up to him. And she cries out, "Oh my Lord, your servant, my husband, was in the school of prophets and he died. And the creditors have come and taken everything we have, and now they're ready to come and take my children." In between the lines of her plea to him. And the prophet knew it. Where is God? Why did God let this happen? What's God going to do now? The prophet Elisha is beside himself. He doesn't know what to do. He says, "What do you have?" She says, "We have nothing. They have taken everything. Don't you have anything in your home?" She says, "All we have is one little clay jar of oil." This is what you do. You go around to all your neighbors and borrow jars and pots and containers, not just a few. You borrow all that you can. And then you go into your house and you shut the door and you begin to pour the oil from your little clay pot, your little clay jar. For the first time in days, Naomi had something to hope for. She grabs her children and she tells them, "You go to all the neighbors," and they go to all the neighbors. "Can we borrow any jars? Do you have any containers?" And they keep on bringing them home until the whole floor is full of jars and containers. And when they've gone to all the little houses in that little village, they shut their door and she gets the cruse, the little jar, the pot of oil. She says, "Boys, you bring me the containers." And they begin to pour. First pot's a big one. The more containers she's pouring from it, fills up, fills up, fills up. "Quick, quick! Bring me another pot." And before it can stop pouring, they put another pot underneath it. Until it is full, and she keeps on bringing containers. They keep on bringing containers to her. And she pours and pours and pours. And finally she says, "Please, give me another one." And the boy says, "They're all full." And so she picks it up and looks inside. It is empty. And the whole house has the aroma of fresh, squeezed olive oil. And she grabs the boys and runs back to the school of prophets. Finds Elisha there. She says, "I've done what you've said. My house is full of oil. Now what do I do?" He says, "You take it and sell it to your neighbors. Pay your creditors what you owe them, and then use the rest to live on." And that is what they did. I like to imagine that the boys would carry the same pots they borrowed back to the people. Here's your jar back. You want to buy some oil that's in it?" "Oh, certainly." They spent the rest of the day selling the oil. And I like it, the picture that when the creditors were showing up with their strong arms, the men, they would take the little boys away. The mother meets them and says, "How much do I owe you?" "Oh, you owe me too much. Your boys will not pay for it, but we're going to just call it good." "No, how much do I owe you?" She makes them give a figure, and she gives them how to owe it. You know, God is good. No matter what we face in life, God is there to provide for our needs. I have seen it over and over again in my own personal life. When it seems like that I'm in a situation where there's no solution, God has a solution. When I'm in a situation where it looks like that I might as well just give up and put my toes up, God provides for my needs.